Hello, and welcome to another edition of the It's Time to Lead Different live stream slash podcast. My name is Collin. I'm your host, and my co-host Dave Clare will be with us shortly. As reference, I'm the CEO of the Circle Leader and the North American lead for Circle Leadership Global. And my partner, Dave Clare, who's just joined us, is the CEO and founder of Circle Leadership Global, that has developed an amazing system for modern day leadership. And actually, that is kind of the direction of the conversation I thought we might have today, Dave. And hello, Dave, are you there? Okay.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, we got you. But today I thought maybe we spend a few minutes and have a conversation about what does modern leadership look like? And what does it really mean to lead different? And would love to get your philosophical approach, your thought process, and maybe let's have a conversation about what are the elements that need to be addressed, if we're going to actually, as leaders, business owners, if we're actually going to be able to adapt and evolve in the new world of work. So maybe start there. What are your thoughts on what it means to be a modern leader? Yeah.
Well, first off, let's talk about leadership in general. Most of what we call leadership today in the modern world is actually just modern management practices. I mean, if you look at all the leadership development, courses, universities, certifications, and I've gone through the curriculum of all those things numerous times, because anytime someone puts out a leadership thing, I always look to see, wow, is that? And you find it's mostly modern management practices, and there's one or two units on people, right? Now, and so for me, what I find fascinating about modern leadership and being the modern leader in the world today is leadership's all about people. You lead people and you manage resources, and people are not a resource. I was just with one of our clients up north, far north Queensland here yesterday, and this is a great example. There was 16 of them in the room. They're all senior leaders of a very large organization, amazing company. And I said to them, how many of you in here, because they're talking about people at the core of their business, right? So this really speaks to what leadership's all about today. And I said, how many of you here are happy to be an expendable commodity, a means to an end,
right?
Something useful, like, that to achieve an outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all looking around at each other like I'm asking them some weird question. And I said, well, that's what a resource is. And we treat our humans like a resource. That's why we have human resources. So one of the first things when you think about leadership in the world today is that you lead people and you manage resources. And people are not a resource. These are human beings with goals, dreams, hopes, aspirations, desires in the world today, right? So, and I said, do each of you in this room have, goals, dreams, hopes, aspirations, desires for your life, for your family, for your career? And they're all like, yeah, okay, great. Well, then every other human being in this organization is the same as you.
Right.
So first and foremost, please understand that leadership is all about helping other people become the best version of themselves to do their life's best work while in your care and beyond.
Right.
You don't need a position or title, as we know, but also it's that most important part down the bottom is we care about you as a human being first and employee second.
Right.
So in modern leadership today, before we get any further into the things that we can do to show or demonstrate that, we have to understand that in today's world, leadership is all about people. And management is, and I'll say this openly here, I've written an article about it, so I'm not like, this may get some interesting comments from people, but management is dead. With the advancement of technology and AI, the need to manage the resources, the science and the numbers of our business, AI will be able to take care of all of that. With the right dashboards and the right bits and pieces, it can pull all the data information. And then what you would do as a leader is you'll take that information and go, how do I help our people become their best, to do their best? So you actually lead the people who produce the numbers, don't lead the people by the numbers.
Right.
Right? Because you're managing the numbers and you're leading the people.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So,
I get it. The nuance, I think, is though that, and maybe there's a piece that the words, the semantics maybe gets lost in, is that when you lead people, you have to start with, as you pointed out, what's important to them. So
Yes.
you have to intrinsically understand where they're coming from with how they think, what their belief systems are, and then how they actually connect with, and from an emotional perspective, right? Connect with your vision, your purpose, etc. And from there, right, you have the capacity to lead them from where they are now to where, to your point, from our definition of leadership, to become the best version of themselves. But you really need to start with that component. That's where I think that's the distinction between management and leadership. Really, it's that one click deeper, right? Where you actually, as a leader, connect with, intrinsically validate the people that you're leading, and then you help them connect their vision and their purpose and their hopes and aspirations to yours, and then you lead them toward the. Would you say that's accurate, or am I?
Yeah, I guess for me the word connect, maybe not, like I wouldn't. Yours doesn't need to connect with mine, but you can see that working, like as we work together around the world and our teams, is that yours and ours fit.
Right. Yeah. That they're core in the same realm. They're coordinated.
Yeah, like yours, you can achieve what you want from your life by working in what we're doing together.
Exactly.
And I can achieve what I want in my life by us working together.
Yeah.
And so the same thing in any organization. If you can show your teams how they can start to either move them towards what that success is for them or whatever it might be, by working in your organization, which is why, once again, it's about helping people become the best version of themselves to do their life's best work while in your care and beyond. So, hey, tell me about what is it your life you want? Well, if I can show you while you're here ways to move you closer to that or to help you to achieve some of that, I know you'll do great work.
Yeah.
And so then my role then is to look at you as that human being first. And then if I take all that success and things that you would like to achieve in your life, and I can show you how to and help you to become that person, you will do the great work and you'll achieve those things, right? So for me, it's about that showing them where it fits in. It doesn't necessarily connect, and I appreciate what you're saying, but so for me, I look at it and go, how do we help this person achieve what it is that they want? Because I know, they've had all these cliches that we've had for decades that you and I grew up with in business, and one of the first leadership lessons I was ever told by one of the greatest leaders that nobody will ever know, because except for the few of us that worked with them, was fundamentally this: Dave, never forget that people want to know that you care before they care about what you know.
Yeah.
So don't try to impress them with all the things that you know. Show them that you care about them, and then the rest won't matter.
Right.
And so, as a practitioners that we are, like, this is where this stuff comes from. So it's not just some theory or something that's been thrown out there. I've just generally cared about the people in the teams that I've been a part of.
Mm-hmm.
Even I've cared about my leaders and those, because all around leadership, not top-down leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is part of the essence of modern leadership today, because if we're going to take care of a lot of the management, what's going to be left is the people. Technology and AI and automation and all this stuff is going to take care of a lot of the doing.
Right.
We don't need to manage doing anymore, but we need to lead the human beings to tap into that creativity, the curiosity, the imagination, the intuition, the empathy that we have to deploy that into our organizations everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's going to take leadership.
Yeah. That's good. So what are a couple of 3 or 4 things that managers need to shift or change in order to become leaders? How would you, I'm sitting across coffee with you and I say, that sounds like me, Dave. What do I do? How do I?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So this is the simplest one. And we run workshops on this, but it's also part of our leadership evolution action plan for the clients who work with us. The number one: become a coach, not a boss.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Become a coach, not a boss.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between a coach and a boss? What's the fundamental difference between a coach and a boss?
Boss tells you what to do. A coach helps you make a decision on what you should do.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So in organizations today, everyone's got the war for talent. Some people want to attract the best talent. They want to retain the best talent. They need to develop world-class leadership for that. And so in organizations today, if we have people, Jobs was one of the few things he did, which was brilliant, was the fact that, he said we should hire people smarter than us, not for us to tell them what to do, but for them to tell us what to do.
Right.
Now, so if we're bringing people into organizations and you're just sitting there telling them what to do all the time, do you think that will make your organization become great?
No, it's not scalable.
No.
Micromanagement, as we've all experienced, I mean, at some point you just run out of time or run out of brain power.
Yeah. And one of the things that we talk a lot to our clients, and as we speak to the world, you and I know we mentioned this at the masterclass we had in Seattle a couple of weeks ago, is that what do you wish your people would? And we always ask this of clients, like, what do you wish your people would? And the number one survey says Family Feud, bing, bing, bing. Number one answer is I wish they would think for themselves.
Think for themselves, right?
Yeah, I just wish my people would think for themselves. And then we look at how their organization is structured. And from a organization that has done a lot of leadership development, which is just modern management practices, what have they got set up in their business, Collin? Here's what to think, when to think it, how to think it, who to think it with, where to think it. Like job description forms. They've got their values. Like values are beautiful. Oh, we value this, and which means we do this, we do this, we do this, we do this. So everything in that organization is set up to tell your people what to think, not teach them how to think. So as a boss, you're sitting here going, I have to keep telling my people what to think because they can't think for themselves. Why can't my people think for themselves? I have to do the thinking for both of us all the time.
Right.
Well, if I have to do the thinking for both of us, Collin, one of us is redundant.
Yeah.
And it's probably me because I haven't worked out how to help you to think for yourself.
Right.
But it's the system that we've set up. We've set up a management system rather than a leadership system in our organizations. We have operation systems. We have management systems. Where's your leadership system? Because we're wondering why our people aren't achieving the greatness that they can, because we have a management system and an operating system that tells them what to do and they're directed by.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's rules and stuff inside that this is, and I'm not saying you shouldn't have them. I'm just saying if that's all you have, you're missing everything else. Right. So that's when we talk about the ecosystem. It's the operating system and it's the management system. The ecosystem has that, but it also has the leadership system that wraps around it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in modern leadership today, that's what we need to have, because getting back to the number one thing about becoming a coach, not a boss, you can't boss someone into greatness.
Right.
Let me say it again, everyone, if you're listening to this, you can't boss someone into greatness.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that would be the number one thing. And becoming a coach, not a boss, I'll share a little insight. Give me a direction that one leader in an organization might give, when bosses tell. So what's a direction that a boss might give to one of their team members or their employees?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right. By the way, that's a distinction. I just want to, an employee or staff.
One of my subordinates.
Yeah, right.
One
of the machines, right? One of the human machines in my system, right?
Yeah. So what's the direction that they might give?
Oh, they might give like, you need to do these 5 activities by this date.
Right. So here's how you transition from coach to boss.
Yep.
So boss says you have to do these 5 things by this date, right? Now, the first step to moving from coach to boss, and we won't turn this into a full, but I just want to people listening, here's the beginning of that transition, is how do you turn an instruction into a question?
Yeah.
So how would we turn that instruction, Collin, into a question?
Well, in that particular thing, I would say, the question might be, what are the top 3 things or 4 things or 5 things we need to accomplish in order to meet the objective? Now, here's the point. We would have to have set an objective versus an activity goal, right? So,
so if they don't know what the 5 things are, going back to that original instruction, here's the 5. I have to tell you these are the 5 things that you have to have done by the end of this week.
Right. But so in that case, right? I mean, so you might say, what is it that we're trying to get accomplished, right?
Yeah. What do you think?
In getting it right? Exactly. What do you think your role is in getting in us accomplishing this objective?
Yeah.
And then,
if you want, if you want to even take that take that exact thing. What do you think the 5 things are that we would need to focus on this week?
Yep. Right.
Right. Because I just took the exact same direction and turned it into a question.
Right.
And my question to you was, how would you do that? And then you told me what you think. I now know what you think. And then I've given you the gap in thinking. And now my job would be to coach the gap in thinking.
Right.
All right. And so there's your first step into coaching.
So let's actually parse that a little bit. So in that scenario, I might come back. You as the leader would ask the question, what are the 5 things we need to,
What do you think
need
the
to.
5 things are we should be focusing on this week, or that you need to get done this week?
I'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then you'd say, okay, why? Where?
Yeah.
How does that apply, right? Okay.
Tell me about that. But tell me, like, you don't overthink. Once again, our role is from coach, not boss, to not overthink this. It's great. Tell me about that. Why do you think those are the 5 things?
Yep. Right.
Okay,
And then they would share that with you. And then to your point, the distinction here is that you would now understand the frame that they're coming to the task with, right? And you can say, okay, how about what do you think about, or what if we, thought about it in this way? What would that look like then, right? Is that kind of what you're yeah?
Well, yeah. Well, then, my mind would go, okay, so if those are things, what do you think the outcome is we're trying to achieve this week? Because I want to see if those 5 things align to the outcome in their mind.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So this is right. This is really important. Like, so the step from boss to coach is the magic never happens when you find the answer. The magic only ever happens when you find the right questions to ask.
Right.
So as I said, the leader, they're saying, so we got to get really good at asking questions, don't we? I said, yes. That is the art of leadership, is asking better questions.
Mm-hmm.
Because what are we trying to get to, Collin? If we can teach our team what to say no to, they should already know what to say yes to. Then all we have to do is coach them to a better yes.
Better yes. Right.
Yep. And so the art of asking questions is the biggest skill set that you can learn as a leader to move from boss to coach. And practice the art of asking questions. The first step towards that is to turn your instructions into a question, and then don't instantly go there, because you've done coaching, and I've done coaching, and I've been coached, and you've been coached, and we've done anything there. There's 3 key fundamental things to coaching, right? Like, you can go into all the stuff, but the 3 fundamental parts of coaching are this: where are you? Where do you need to be?
Right.
Why do you want to get there?
Right.
Yeah. So hopefully, as your coach, I'm kind of know where we'd like you to get to, and because I know what I want to help you become the best version of yourself. So okay, but what I don't know is where are you? Where is your thinking? Right. And so I can take your first answer and you go, okay, here's the 5 things. And then go, well, no, these are actually the 5 things that you should work on. And this is where the mistake happens. I asked the question, I found out there are 5 things. Right. Now I know what I'm thinking, and here's what I want. Okay, great. Well, tell me about that. So why are those 5 things? What do you think the outcome is we're looking for this week?
Yeah, right.
So next question, because what I want to do is start to move their thinking as much as I can to here and go, okay, that's the gap. And now what I know is the real gap is that it's not that they don't know what to do, it's they don't know what the outcome is we're trying to chase. I could have addressed from a coaching point of view, I could have addressed the wrong behaviors, but what it is the lack of clarity in the result.
Right. Yeah. And maybe the connection to what their role is in creating that result. So yeah.
So then you can go to that level next, right? So so actually you're not understanding that your role here is actually to help to drive these results. You're thinking it's that result.
Right. Yeah.
So so you think about modern leadership today and what leadership should look like, the future of work and the future of leadership. There's 4 core elements to the future of leadership itself, and coach, not a boss, is one of them.
Yeah.
Right. And whenever we speak about the future of work and the future of leadership, which is really the present of leadership and the present of work.
Exactly. Right. Today.
And then there's a whole bunch of things that you can do behind all those things.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to talk about the other 3 core things?
I think we better, at least, since you just teased him, we should at least give it, the 4, because we can come back to more detail on the others.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we also have the Evolving World of Work ebook, which we can put the link into here if anybody wants to have all the stuff behind the 4 things that we're sharing with you in this podcast. You can download the book. I'll make sure I put the link into the chat here to the ebook.
Great.
Right. So the 4 core things that when you think about the future of work and the future of leadership, because once again, we've already cleared the fact that most of what we call leadership today is just modern management, and leadership's all about people. You lead people, you manage resources. So the 4 things, we've already got coach, not a boss. The second thing that you got to look at is how do we create better employee experiences or team, like make it an experiential for the individual to be a part of your organization.
Mm-hmm.
Right? People want their work to be more meaningful. This is why culture, surprisingly, is still the most important thing in any business today. All right. And it's once again, it's even highlighted more now with the war for talent, or whatever way you want to describe it, that attracting the best talent, retaining the best talent, developing world-class leadership to keep that and to continue to build on that is what every organization should be fighting for. And so we need to make sure that we create employee experiences, which is why then if you think about human resources, if I'm going to treat you like a resource, an expendable commodity, a mean to an end, is that a great experience for you?
No.
Right?
No.
So, so we should abolish the concept of human resources. We should have resources for humans, not humans as a resource, which is one of those other things in the Evolving World of Workbook. Yeah. But one of our clients over in New Zealand, basis, their people person is called the head of people experience. Mm-hmm. And what they do, they move beyond people and culture, from HR to people and culture to now people experience. So it's quite funny because the acronym for head of people experience spells hope. And so Beth is the head of people experience. So her job is to make sure that you have an amazing experience while you're at basis, so that whatever time you're here, that you move on to something else, that you go, gosh, I remember my time at basis. It was so great. Because we know that jobs for life are not going to exist into the future. But damn well, we want you to remember your time when you worked with us here. That was one of the most amazing experiences that you ever had. It doesn't mean that it's all pillows and blankets and daycare center stuff. It's that it could be hard, challenging work. Well, ways to make your people happy: pillows and blankets or high performance. Right? So,
pillows and blankets doesn't actually produce the steel sharpens steel, right? So
absolutely. So having an amazing experience. So become a coach, not a boss. How do you create an amazing experience in your organization? And that all comes back to culture, which is why culture is everything, right? As we work through, and everything we do starts with culture. So you got to create that. So people need to have that something to believe in, someone that believes in them, and someone that they can believe in, and that creates an amazing experience for that individual. So your culture has to embody those three things.
Right.
The other thing in the future of leadership and the future of work, or the present of those things, is we need new organizational models. And we've already alluded to that when we talked about ecosystems. So ecosystems, that we need to create an organizational model where everybody answers to something first, not to someone. We need to create where we have all around leadership, not top-down leadership. We need organizational models where we build the ecosystem, where collaboration and innovation can thrive, not I'm the boss, you report to me, all the power's up here, all the information's down here, they never coexist at the same table. So we need new organizational models. And we must have those. And this is the challenge. So coach, not a boss. You've got the need to create employee experiences, and we need a new organizational model. And then there's one last thing, but you want to jump in on something? Go.
No, I was just going to say that particular concept, new organizational models, it ties directly into coach, not bosses, right? Because what we're doing there is creating a collaborative ecosystem of a working environment, but the moving from a siloed, it's a big concept. So what I was going to suggest here is that it's easier than, for those listeners, get the ebook and you'll get the gist of the concept, but it's not as difficult as it sounds. And it's
no, definitely not.
You're already more closely aligned to an ecosystem than you would imagine. Because a lot of times, even in a top-down command and control, those ecosystems have been developed in order to get the work done.
Yes.
Below you. So here, sometimes it's just a matter of tapping into how your organization is naturally evolving to adapt, even though it may not be intentional. So anyway, just a couple of thoughts on that. That's a big rock.
Yeah, that's a big one. But that's those ecosystems are the management systems. That's when you're managing your organization, you're not leading. Right. Remember, and also leadership, nowhere in our definition of leadership about helping other people become their best, to do their best while in our care and beyond, does it say you need a position or title to demonstrate leadership.
Right.
Most people think, oh, I know I'm a leader because look how many people are following me.
Right.
People always, whenever I speak, you don't have many followers. And I'm not interested in followers. I don't care for followers. What I want to do is develop more leadership. Right. So not necessarily more leaders, but I'd like to develop more leadership in the world, not more followership.
Right.
All right. And so modern leadership also would speak to the fact that we're here to develop leadership depth and strengthen our organization, which is why we need all around. Even in our organization, there's times when you are the coach. When it comes to our branding and our marketing and all this sort of stuff, you're coaching us on all that. You're also genius at, profiling and stuff like that. And so your habit finder and the things that you do.
Yeah.
Why would I, because technically I'm the CEO of this organization, be the one to coach in that? I don't have a clue.
Right.
So you take the lead, you demonstrate leadership in that space for us. And when it comes to IT and architecture and systems and things, Gavin has a phenomenal background in that. And then I'm thinking about Jordan as well. So he takes the lead of that. And then Jordan, she's brilliant at systems and structure and process and methodologies. And so she takes the lead on all that.
Yeah. Right.
So it's all around leadership. It's not.
Yeah. No, I love it. Thanks for sidetracking. There's one more, and I just want to be sensitive to time. One more pillar.
Well, the last one is fundamentally it's embracing technology.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We have to embrace technology, which is kind of why I wrote that book there, So Humane, was to help people understand that that how do we embrace technology that brings humans together? Because we're not going to be able to avoid into the future our organizations not having some sense of technology about them, whether it's AI, automation, whatever it might be, softwares, everything like that. Right. And the big fear, of course, that's out there in the world is that, will technology take my job? Right. And so from an organization in the future of work and the future of leadership, how do you help your people understand that you want to turn them into superheroes and give them technology that frees them up to do the work that humans must do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is how do we unleash the humanity in our organization by leveraging technology to amplify the humanity that we have in our organization. Right. Yeah. So that's the four things. You have to look at how you introduce technology into your organization in a humane way, where people go, oh, this tool is a resource for me as a human, not a resource to replace me as a resource.
Right. Exactly.
This should free us up to be a human being so that it can take the human doing stuff away from us.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to create an existential crisis because most people identify themselves by what they do for a living.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, I'm Dave. I do this.
Right.
So if I don't do this anymore, then who am I?
Right.
So this is why in the future of leadership and the future of work, we must make sure that we're embracing technology that brings human beings together and unleashes humanity in our organization and frees us up to do the work that humans must do. The challenge is most people aren't sure what the work is that humans must do.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So when you think about, creating a new organizational model that allows you to become the coach, not the boss, and then it creates amazing employee experiences, and then you give those human beings the resources that they need to unleash their humanity to your clients, to your business, to each other in your team. That's what the future of work and the future of leadership is all about.
Yeah. I agree. So a big takeaway that I'm taking away from today, it just came into my mind, is that humanity and being human, people focused, and is really the quintessence of modern day leadership. Like how we're going to actually evolve is to really focus on and be centered on the human aspect of what we do. And then rather than being solely focused on technology and systems, we're going to start with the human and then build the technology, or integrate and form the technology systems to serve the innovation, creativity, passion, and effort of the people that are involved. So does that kind of summarize?
Yeah, man, absolutely. So whenever we help our clients build out their business evolution roadmap, what is the first objective we always talk about?
The first objective we always talk about, people.
Yeah, team, right? The people.
Yep.
Why?
Yep.
Human first.
Human first. Yeah.
Everything we do is human first.
Yeah.
Right. Even the way we map out a roadmap with the clients, we don't start with anything else. We don't start with finances. Finances is probably the thing. It's like the second last or the third last thing we even talk about, right? Yeah. Systems there is last. Yeah. It's the first three things are our people.
Yeah.
And then when they speak that love to the world, it's brand. And then clients,
customers.
So you get team, brand, clients. The reason why we map out team, brand, and clients in that order is because of that. Is because we get the humans right, and people love why we do what we do, and they speak that love to the market. Well, brand is how the market and consumer thinks and feels. Yeah. And then they fall in love with how we do what we do, right? And then guess what? So we go team, brand, and then that attracts people to become clients.
Yeah.
And then from that, you drive revenue from bringing those clients, and then you invest in right systems. So this is why the order of our roadmap is set out the way it's set out.
I love it.
First, everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever shared that with you before.
I think you have.
Okay. Yeah.
but the exciting part, so this has been a great conversation today. I know we're at time. That component of brand and culture and brand coming together. I'd like to explore that more next week, because everybody I'm talking to is like, especially now in the world, is worried, right, about how viable is my business and what do I do in order to ensure and build in some certainty into my business. And I personally believe that the stronger that cultural framework that you've been just alluding to, and we've talked about in previous episodes, but maybe we go back and review it again next week. That actually is going to be a key differentiator in the as the world economy and markets evolve, in my opinion. So cool, man. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I'm going to get that link and I'll drop it into the stuff here for everybody. So anybody wants a copy of that Evolving the World of Work ebook, 12 things you can do this year to evolve your world of work. We'll drop the link in the comments and all the spots where this live stream was, and please download that. And man, I think next week let's smash that culture and brand relationship. It'd be great.
You got it. In the meantime, if any of you would like more information about Circle Leader or Circle Leadership Global, reach out to us on the socials. If you'd like, bookmark this event. It happens every Tuesday in the U.S. and Wednesday in Australia.
Yes, we come to you from the future here in
Australia. Yeah, and until then, we will wish you happy leadership, and we'll talk to you then. Thanks.
Right. Thanks, everyone.